Just a quick update here. So I've been working on some of these connections. The Rock Pals has this pretty long connector to Anderson, but the thing I've been trying to solve now is connecting to the terminals on these Lion Energy batteries. So I got a new inverter. This is the Bestek 500W pure sine wave. My other inverter wasn't working well because it was drawing too much power initially and causing basically the battery to go into protection because it had such a big spark. So I hooked this up. It's got these alligator terminal clamps which work pretty well, and then you screw them into here. These have ring or terminal connectors. You screw them into the back. This comes with fuses and a fan. This Bestek, it's got 2 AC outlets and 2 high power USB outlets, so I just clamped those on. And you'll see this turns on, the light turns on, the fan's running. I was charging my phone from this and testing that out, and it worked really well. So next, so these connectors coming out of the solar panels, these are Anderson connectors, and the ones that you get from Rock Pals on their solar panel, that black cable here, are very high quality, I'm finding. They have a little cap here. I wanted to get another connector and then plug that in to charge my battery, because my battery doesn't work off of any of the attachments that come with the solar panel. So this is what I need to charge my battery, is something like this. So I bought this cable. This is 12 gauge silicone, 200 degrees Celsius. I already made this connection yesterday, so I'm going to be showing you how to do that. So on one end we have these, then it's just cable. You can see that's my shrink wrap. That's how it looks like on the other end. So we'll together, hey, together now, we're going to be putting another ring connector on the red cable and then shrink wrapping that. I'll show you how to do that. These Anderson connectors are pretty handy. So I bought this kit from Amazon. There's 3 different types of wire connectors here that you have to crimp on or attach onto the wire and then plug into these other Anderson connectors. These connectors are very handy. They come in some different amperages and different sizes. So this is just the basic Anderson connector up to, well, it says 45 amps. You'll find all different sizes of these. So one side is going to accept the wire with the little crimp. So you'll notice here one side of this is pointed down. So what's going to happen is when you slide this in, it's going to go in and it's actually going to sit, that lip is going to go and connect right over that little metal tab in there and lock right on the edge of it. So I didn't know that, so I was trying to plug these in to the other end, and it was confusing me. So the other thing with these types of connectors is they're like Legos. Hey, Legos! They snap together, and then you can take them apart by snapping them apart, but it's very critical to get that cable insertion, this part, over the lip. So I bought this, that's the name of them. These I used a couple of these because I don't have the right crimping tool. You don't necessarily need it, but I'll show you what I use. I use just a wire stripper that has an end. Some of these are not perfect. Some of these are actually missing the tab inside. Not many, maybe 1 or 2 I noticed, but I don't know if you want to try a different brand or what, but this one is okay. I would say it's acceptable. These will snap together. I didn't solder them. Now there's a couple different schools of thought on soldering. Some people say it creates a stiff point and then it can snap. So the terminal, basically I just strip the wire down. So here, strip off about 1/4 inch, then lay that 1/4 inch right in there. And you don't want exposed wire in front of this or behind it. So you really want to just expose enough to get it inside of this little, well, they call it copper tab, and then you're going to crimp that down or press that down onto the wire, and make sure you test it several times to make sure that it's snug. So mine are crimped very strongly. And then getting this inside of that connector, the other thing I did was when I put it in, I have a little poker tool, and I could catch this edge of it and just push that in until it clipped again over this edge. So that's pretty straightforward. You'll have to play around with it a little bit to get it right, but just remember the orientation that you want is this big part, the hooded part, and when you have the hooded part, that lip is going to go down towards the bottom part here, the smaller part. So it goes in, let me show you again here, just like that. And then this, you'll push it in far enough to where it clips, you'll hear it clip right over the lip of the tab in there. So for your ring terminals, I bought this kit. It's got all these different sizes. This will probably last me a long time of my life. Here's the end of our wire. Here's the tool that I use to crimp. I use these top parts, which really isn't, I mean, it is for crimping, but there are better tools out there. I just didn't want to have to buy a whole nother ratcheting crimp tool. So again, measure twice, cut once. For those of you that don't have any training in doing this, you can do it, but just go slow and take your time. So on my wire strippers, I have different size 12 gauge wire. So we're gonna pick the 12. So you can always come back later and cut more jacket of the wire, but you can't cut less. So squeeze down and pull. So, and then what you're gonna wanna do is twist this in the direction that it was when it came out of the sleeve. So twist that, and then feed it in there carefully. So here we go, got the wire in there. I'm gonna press it down on one side, turn it to the other side, press the other side down. So you can see now those two, make sure that's focusing. Those two lips on there have folded down onto each other, and this is extremely snug. So I'm going to give it one more, there you go. So that's not coming off. I don't need to solder that. So I'm going to heat shrink this. I'll show you how to do that. So just slide it up. So here's the heat shrink kit I bought. This is 2-to-1. There's some different options, 3-to-1. We'll maximum shrink to half its diameter. Here's the kit. It's got these different colors, different sizes. Not too bad. And then this, my Harbor Freight heat gun. It's got 2 settings. So what you're going to want to do here is be careful not to get it too far up. So some people will heat shrink there, and then when you clamp down on your terminal, you're going to have plastic in there. So just right over that yellow edge. Crank up your heater. And set this a place where it will not melt what you set it on. So there you go, that looks nice and professional. We'll let that cool down, your terminal. And on the other end, you got Anderson connector. So this is how you will go from your solar panels with Anderson connectors on one end to ring connections to charge a battery on the other end. Very simple and straightforward. These Anderson connectors work well with the Rock Pals. So these are directional. Careful sliding them in. The Rock Pals comes with this little sleeve, which is very dandy. Slide that over, and all these should be secure now, and I can run the power right into the battery. So if you have questions, let me know. But you may want to invest in a good crimping tool if you're going to do a lot of these, because that will come in handy more than what I was trying to use right there. So I'll keep you guys updated on how this project keeps continuing to turn out. But in the meantime, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.